Show you what I'm looking at. I don't. Hold on.
It's all about the houses to get the accurate reading.
How do you flip
That's why
this?
you need your time of birth.
Wait, I can't. Oh, yes, I can. Can you see that? That's all I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. So it's showing you a number by it. You see, your sun has a number by it.
903. This?
No, that the numeral. Yeah, that number.
That's a
That
that's
number.
a
You just
sign. It's not a number.
no. Right next to it. Right to the. Oh, let me see. Go over to the right a little bit more.
Hey, Excellency.
That's that's something different.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing.
The other
Hey,
ones. The other
babes.
ones is showing you. Yeah, you got to go to your actual chart. We pulled up your chart on a website. It's like a chart.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a circle with your chart in it.
So what website am I going to?
So
Yeah, I'm up on her right now. I got to sign up.
hit horoscope. You see horoscope at the top, and then scroll down and fill that out, and you'll be able to see. Also,
Okay,
you do the same thing. I forgot her
free
name. What's her
horoscope
name?
on the free horoscope part, right?
Yeah,
You want me to go to where?
Birth, natal, gender.
Hey, beloved.
astro-seek.com. Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there.
So the question that I'm posing in this video is if astrology is just a really bad thing. I mean, a lot of people are turning to astrology in this day and age. It's becoming, extremely popular with many people. They consider it a wise counsel. But in all reality, what does the Bible say about astrology? And those who consult with astrologers and use astrology as guidance for their lives, whether it be for fortune telling, in the Bible, Isaiah 47:13-15, and this is in the NIV. All counsel you have received has only worn you out. Let your astrologers come forward, those stargazers who make predictions month by month. Let them save you from what is coming upon you. Surely they are like stubble. The fire will burn them up. They cannot even save themselves from the flame. Each of them goes on in his error. There is not one that can save you. So God is speaking to the people of ancient pagan Babylon. And in the biblical days, astrology was considered a pagan thing. It is well known that astrology originated from Babylon, which is now the country of Iraq. There are tablets that have been excavated with the horoscope charts dating from the 5th century BC and earlier. Astrology is a divination art which teaches that the relative positioning in the sky of the sun, moon, and planets has an influence upon individuals and upon the course of human affairs. So a lot of people, even back in the Babylonian times, as well as in modern times, are utilizing the services of astrology. consultants. But it's not something that, the you should be dabbling in any way. It is something that when you do so, you're opening up the door for something from the other side, the spirit world, which is something that you should not even want any part of. And when I say spirit world, I'm not talking about your loved one that has passed away. I am talking about demons. I'm talking about demons that will come through that door. And once you open that door, it's you've allowed it in. You gave it permission. So now, is astrology real? That's another question that some people, they might wonder about. I think a lot of times it's not. I think some people get duped by it. I think some people are conning people who read the tarot cards or whatever, and they don't, but they're still in danger of opening that door just by practicing what they're doing. But I do believe there are a lot of people out there who have literally opened the door. They're able to talk to demons who pretend to be the ghost or spirit of one that passed away, because demons are very deceiving. They can pretend to be your lost loved one, and that's why a lot of people go to these astrology, these people who can foresee the future. It's because they are given this information from something that they should not have any business getting their information from. And if you ever go to one, and I don't care how accurate it is, or if you're literally sitting there talking to your husband who has passed away 10 years ago, that is not your husband. And no matter how much convincing that it may seem like that is, that's that person there talking to you is something, but it's not your husband. It's a demon that's portraying to be because demons, they know how to play on your heartstrings. They know what to do to push your buttons to deceive you. And if they can deceive you into believing that you're the lost loved one, then that means that you're not believing what the Bible's saying about what happens to you when you pass away. So therefore, you believe that God is lying. And then they know that they've tricked you. Demons are cunning. They're very good at what they do. And they have to be very good at what they do. Look at who their master is. Satan rules over them. And these 1/3 of the angels that are with Satan, that turn against God, they are busy. And it's hard to, say how many 1/3 of all the angels are, but it's a lot. And that is how powerful this deception is. And that's why it's so important that you just put on the full armor of God. I know I keep saying this, but it's true. Put on the full armor of God. Trust in God. Resist Satan. Resist evil. Resist anything. And, it's said that you need to endure, resist to the end. Because, it's hard when you lose someone that you love. And just, for that just one more chance to just see them or talk to them would be just, a lot of us know what that feels like because we've lost somebody. And so we know what that's like. And we think to ourselves, if I could just have just another moment with that person, what would I say? And then these consultants, some of them are able to actually have you communicating with what feels like is that person. But it's not, I assure you, that is not. It is not. Don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. And as far as Nature Boy and him with this astrology stuff all the time, bringing this up all the time, whatever's inside of him, and we all know what it is, he knows beyond a doubt. He knows that what he's doing is wrong. And what he's teaching is wrong. And he knows thousands of souls what he's doing. And that's what gets me. He knows. He knows that God exists because he once was with him. And I'm sure that demon inside of him wishes that he had not made that choice to follow after Satan. But he did. There was somebody who said something, and you could look at Nature Boy's face, and he said something about God. And the look on Nature Boy's face, you could see the pain in his face. Because he knows it knows it messed up. And now it has no other choice but to follow orders, which is to lead as many to hell as it can. And anybody that is a false prophet out there, the Bible says that they are full of demons and spirits. So we know what's inside of them. The Bible says it. You know you're being tricked. So I say that if you're somebody out there who is easily being deceived by these things, wake up, please. Wake up. Take control of your life. Don't allow Satan to win, because you are stronger. God gave you the ability to fight it, to fight those urges and to overcome. So there's no excuse. You can't stand before God when it's time and say, I wasn't strong enough, or I couldn't do it. I'm just human. And that right there, I'm going to tell you it's true. We're all human, and it is hard. It is hard to resist and try to do the right thing and to overcome and not try to be all deceived. But I do know one thing, that when you study the Word of God, you become closer to Him. And it becomes easier to resist. It becomes easier. There's nothing better than to sit and read about God and about who He is, and about the biblical characters back in, the day of the Babylonians, or back in the day of Daniel, or Adam and Eve. These stories are they're very, it's history. And it's like a car, when you don't take care of your car, it breaks down. One thing goes wrong with it, it's easy for the next thing to go wrong with it. It's like us with our faith. If we feed our faith, going to God in prayer, reading the Bible, and every day thinking before we act, thinking before we speak, and just, working hard at becoming just better people. Even with me, I find that, especially the more worse this world is becoming, it is becoming an everyday struggle. Just not to just flip out, at things that I see going on around me, not to become angry. I mean, okay, I'm just going to be honest, okay? Sometimes I'll, and I'm going to just explain to you guys some of the struggles I go through, okay? And then I have to, kick myself in the butt, and I have to say, you know what? You can't have those feelings, because that's wrong. You have to be a better person. I mean, there's no sense in having that much anger. But I find myself, when I go through these drive-through restaurants, or it's just like back in the day, you used to be able to go through, and a fast food restaurant was just that. You went through it because you needed a quick fix. You needed to get through that drive-through, get home, feed your family, and then get on to the next thing you needed to do. And it was quick and easy. Now you go through a drive-through, and the time you spend in that drive-through is the same amount of time it would have took if you just went into the restaurant and sat down and ate, at a restaurant, a normal restaurant. And sometimes you have to sit there, and I know they're teenagers, I know it. But when I was a teenager, okay, I think we all have a McDonald's job. You know, when we turn 13 or 14, we work at McDonald's. That's how we make our weekend spending money. And I think there's a big difference between how we respected adults then and how the adults are treated now by these teenagers. You can go through, and it's not that they're really disrespecting you. It's that you wonder if these schools are teaching them anything. It's like they sound so uneducated. You can sit there and you can say, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I need a cheeseburger, a French fry, and a small Coke. And then they will literally ask me to repeat that. So I'm telling them again. And before I know it, I'm telling them about, this makes like the 5th time I've told them. So it's just things like that. You're constantly being tested because Satan knows what gets to you. He knows how to push your buttons. You know, and I feel like I needed to share that story with you guys. And it's not just that. It's like a 50 million different things that might push somebody's buttons. Well, Satan knows what it is. He knows how to push your buttons to get you angry or get you, you know, to ruin your whole day or to get you angry enough to turn against God. And God knew that. And he knew the struggles that you would have and the struggles that you would face and the obstacles that Satan would put in front of you. He knew that. That's why he tells you, he gives you a Bible and with his word in it and how to overcome those things. He tells you to put on the full armor of God because it's not going to be easy. It's like a war, going out into a war, stepping outside your door in this day and age. It's tough. It's tough to be a Christian in this day and age. It really is. And there's so many times, like there's times, sometimes I'll have somebody with me in the car and I'll say the same thing to the person that's in the car with me, whether it's my son or my daughter. And I'm like, you know what? Because something had just ticked me off and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like it takes every bit of strength that I have, you know, because you feel so bad after saying something. Like you feel bad when you get angry. You feel bad because you're like, oh gosh. And you don't really feel bad for the person that you're getting angry at. In which, if I get angry at somebody, I'm not going to let them know it because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But like inside, like I let it build up. I let it fester inside of me until I just explode. And that's how I am. And I'll tell my son, I'm like, or my daughter, I'm like, it takes everything I have. Just, you know, I'm trying so hard to do the right thing and to be a good person, be a kind person. And every time that I'm nice or I have a good day or, you know, I'm like, okay, no matter what happens today, Satan's not going to get me down today. Oh, believe me, don't challenge it because he will make sure you do. He will keep on and on and on until he pushes the right button and I'm telling you. And if you're a new Christian, you are going to have it 50 times worse. You're going to have it 50 times worse because Satan don't want to lose you. And if he can poke just a little bit, he's probably going to get you back in this day and age. And the new Christians are tested, oh my goodness, big time. I remember even back in the day when I first became a Christian, it's like, I think I even had to go to my pastor and say, you know what? How are you supposed to like try to live a Christian life? How? Because every day I struggle, like, and back then, like sometimes, and even then I didn't really cuss very bad, but you know, if I slipped up and said, you know, a little bad word like hell, to me that was a bad word. Even if I wasn't a Christian, I still didn't want to, you know, cuss or say anything like that. And but if I did, I would feel like, I don't know. It's like, because Satan knows how to get in your ear. He knows how to get in your ear and say, look at you. You can't even go a day without cussing. And then you feel like you believe it. You believe it, what he's saying. And then you're like, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not good enough to, I'll never make it to heaven. I can't, because it's so hard. God's not going to let me in heaven. I mean, I just cussed. I'm telling you, that's Satan. That is Satan. Because one thing I do know is that we're all human. We're all going to struggle to make it. And it's a challenge every day. And this is why he says, endure till the end. Because you will, as a Christian, you will be enduring every step of the way. But what you need to do is, if you have a downfall, or, you know, if you do something and it comes to you and you know what you did was wrong, that's when you go to God. And don't listen to the voice inside your head saying, oh, you're not, look at you, you know, you're messing up. God, how can God love you? Don't listen to that. Just push that aside and go to God and say, you know what? I messed up. And if you go to him with a heavy heart and you do feel bad for what you did, he's going to forgive you. He's going to forgive you. Because he loves you. And he's very forgiving. It seems like every other minute I'm saying, oh, Lord, please forgive me. Oh, my goodness. Whether you have a bad thought or you have, you know, especially here lately, I've been tried. I'm telling you. And then this thing with Nature Boy, because I know what he's doing. I know what that demon inside of him is doing. And I feel like every time he puts out a video, I have to put out a video to debunk him. Or to show you what he's doing. And that's why I even took off a couple days ago and didn't put up any videos for like 2 days. It's because I needed a break. Like, I see what's happening. I see what he's doing. And it's weighing heavy on my heart. I can't, it bothers me. And I wish people would just see, like, it's not, God doesn't make it so impossible that you can't see when you're being deceived. But I think that people in this day and age where they're so used to being brought up maybe a different way, in the new way, because, like, I did a video not too long ago where I was saying how this, God was taken out of everything. He was taken out of schools. He was taken out of prayer at school. The Bibles were taken out. People aren't praying at dinner time. People aren't, I don't know. It's just, God has been removed. And especially during this C-19 event that happened, the churches were closed. And so, but I do believe that was an intervention from God. I do believe that he intervened because he saw how busy we have become. He saw the hustle and bustle of everyday life and living. We are so busy that, people just did not have time to stop and think, let alone sit down for prayer or sit down and read a Bible. So he had to slow things down. He had to shut everything down because he needed you to have time to just come back to him. And very few people saw that it was him that had intervened to give you that opportunity. And so, and now things we see, and I don't like getting into politics. I really don't, because I'm gonna be honest. I don't vote, so I don't think I should have any say so on anything, or have any complaints. But I don't believe. I stopped voting a long time ago. And the reason is because I believe that they're selected. They're not elected. And I believe what the Bible says, that at the end time, all these world governments are going to have one mind. They're going to be working together for one purpose. And so I don't want to be a part of that. I've removed myself away from that, and I'm not going to be a part of it. You should not have to be forced to choose between the less of two evils. The Democrat, Republicans, that is for you. That's not for them, because they use Democrat and Republican and force you to choose a side and turn you against each other, while in the background they're all getting along and all becoming richer and all working together, while they're sitting there acting like they're against each other and trying and care so much for the people. And it's just not true. And we had a thing called the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution, they didn't take that from us. We gave it to them. We allowed them to destroy it because we didn't protect it. We didn't stand up for it. And we didn't demand it. And I'm just going to tell you, the things that are coming, this is why I want to start doing these, I have started doing these Bible studies, because time, if you do read the news, people that you can actually trust, if you can find a good one, which is usually a good pastor. I mean, because nowadays that's about who you can trust for the news. I mean, and you need to find a good one, because there's so many pastors out there who are not teaching the gospel. They're not teaching you what they're supposed to teach you because they're not allowed to, or they don't get state funding. Those are the pastors that's going to be held accountable before God, and you need to avoid them because they're not going to tell you the right things. But if you look at around at things that are happening, you can tell that we're already in the end times. There's no denying that. And I believe that, in my opinion, that time is short. Before God comes back. And I can about bet Satan knows that too. That's why he's busy. He's a little busy bee out here with his little demons working overtime with this astrology and this trying to make you believe that, and horoscopes, and that your lost loved one is, its spirit's still out there haunting you, and it's not. They're asleep. They're asleep. And that's what the Bible teaches. And that's what I believe. And I'm not saying these astrologies, these consultants, some of them are absolutely talking to somebody and getting their information from somewhere. But it's not, and I don't know if they're being deceived. Maybe they actually believe they're talking to somebody's long lost loved one, when in reality they're talking to a demon. I think it's time that we wake up. We need to snap out of it. Think about it. It said this people would be lovers of themselves. Children would be without pretty much feelings. obedient to their parents. And we see this big time. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys don't read your horoscopes. Don't get it all caught up into this birth month and having somebody try to channel a lot, somebody that's passed away. Don't open that door. Stay away from the Ouija boards. Stay away from seances or whatever it is they do. Stay away from that stuff. Do not open the door for that. You're allowing it in when you do. You're giving it permission. And at that point, that's all I can say. I know a lot of people, they're not going to listen to me because they believe in this astrology stuff. But think of it like this. Do your research and see what's right, see what's wrong, and then see if it's really worth the risk of your soul. I mean, is it like, if for the fact that you have to be right, even though you've not done your research, isn't it worth it just to do that research? Is your soul worth you doing that research to find out the truth? And I say yes, your soul is worth it. You guys have a wonderful night. God bless.